Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. Trinidad and Tobago's Electoral College will meet in January to elect the new president. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Wednesday, 28th December 2022. Details when we return.
Win prizes weekly with the Dutch Lady Christmas promotion. You can win hampers, kitchen appliances, and much more. Here's how to win. Visit our Facebook and Instagram pages weekly to retrieve the recipe. Follow the recipe. Submit the final dish via email at dlchristmaspromotion@gmail.com, along with proof of purchase of Dutch Lady UHT or 410 evaporated milk. Recipes will be judged based on the display. Winners will be selected each week to battle for the grand prize in a live cooking show hosted by the creative chef. Look out for the Dutch Lady Santa Claus at supermarkets island-wide. The promotion runs from November 16th to December 21st, 2022. And once again, we'd like to congratulate the winner of last year's Dutch Lady Christmas promotion, Miss Brianna Bihari. Dutch Lady Milk, proudly distributed by Hubbard's Agency.
Welcome back. As the 5-year term of Trinidad and Tobago's president comes to an end in January of 2023, that country's Electoral College will meet in January to elect the new president. TTT News has more.
The notice put out in the Trinidad and Tobago Gazette says the Electoral College, established under Section 28 of the Constitution, will meet on Friday, January 20th. President Paula May Weeks, TNT's 6th president and first female president, was sworn into office in March 2018, which means her 5-year term will soon end. In 2018, President Weeks was the only candidate nominated and was deemed elected without the need for a vote. The notice reaffirmed that a candidate for President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago must be nominated for election by a nomination paper which is signed by the candidate and by 12 or more members of the House and is delivered to the Speaker at least 7 days before the election. A consultation between government and opposition usually takes place before nomination of candidates.
The leader of the business community in the capital city of Trinidad and Tobago, in the meantime, laments what he sees as a waning Christmas spirit and says it is just one symptom of the decay of law and order in Trinidad and Tobago. Renessa Cutting of TV6 News has more.
The Doma president is reporting a slower than expected Christmas season, despite the economy having fully reopened earlier this year.
This is not a complaint that I am making to you on Christmas Eve, that business is bad and sales are slow and we can't pay our bills. That is not the truth. The truth is that business is adequate enough for us to pay our bills and to meet our commitments. But it is not a bright environment in the way that we had hoped it would be.
But the Doma president says he's not surprised that persons are not spending, and he believes the reason is much deeper than bare economics.
I think it might be fair to say that the average citizen is also starting to feel hopeless and losing confidence. I think that has affected people. I know that we had some walloping issues in this country, the flooding, the crime situation, the unsolved and brutal, bold-faced crime has shook the country to the core. I don't think that there is any escaping the fact that all strata of society are negatively impacted mentally.
Aboud says the onus is on the citizenry to demand better from those in authority.
I feel very strongly about the fact that something has to happen. We need very strong leadership on this subject at this time, because the country is wallowing and nobody wants to be on a boat that is drifting and being rocked by the ocean of lawlessness. People want to know that we have direction, that we have a plan.
But the Doma president would like to acknowledge the efforts of the TTPS in increasing its presence in downtown Port of Spain.
That is a positive side of Christmas 2022, is that the police protected Port of Spain. Was it totally crime-free? No, it was not. But based on the reports that we have up until today, the number of episodes have been diminished substantially. And we would like to publicly express our thanks to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
Renessa Cutting, TV6 News.
In other news, the Castries South East Constituency Council now has its own bus service for the vulnerable and disabled. The bus service was launched at an official ceremony in the constituency on Sunday, December 18th, 2022. Zane Romulus of the DBS News World reports.
Commuting between the communities of Castries South East is expected to improve with the launch of a bus service. Speaking at the launch ceremony, Parliamentary Representative Joachim Henry expressed his gratitude to the Taiwanese ambassador, His Excellency Peter Chai Yen, for making it possible for him to fulfill a campaign promise to his constituents to improve the public transport service gaps in the constituency. The Embassy of the Republic of China, Taiwan, in May this year presented a check of $30,000 that was used as a down payment towards the purchase of the coaster bus.
It's easy sometimes, those of us who have our own private vehicles, to forget that people rely on public transportation. And being in Castries Southwest and where people live, we are not all connected to the services that people need to make use of. And transportation, sometimes the logistic doesn't exist at all. So for example, if you go to Bele, whereas relocated people from Tetchimet to Bele to establish a new community for the construction of Rotterdam, even after 30 years, we have not put in place the transportation network to allow them to have access to preschool services, even to get to town.
The Taiwanese ambassador conveyed his government's commitment to elevating the living standards of the people of St. Lucia.
Christmas is approaching. The true meaning of Christmas is to think only of others, how to bring the greatest happiness to others. Today, under Honorable Minister Joachim Henry's great endeavor, and with the support from Honorable Prime Minister Frederick and Honorable Minister Frederick, the bus service of Castries Southeast is officially launched. I believe the bus service launch is one of the best Christmas gifts, and Taiwan is honored to be part of the endeavor.
Day-to-day operational oversight of the vehicle will fall to the Castries Southeast Constituency Council.
You know how I call Joachim? The official beggar. The good thing is, Joachim never begs for himself. He begs for those people who elected him to represent them. Give him a round of applause. Because, of course, he's creating history. This is the first constituency council to have its own vehicle.
The coaster bus will be used to transport less fortunate individuals, the youth, seniors, and community interest groups operating within the wider Castries Southeast constituency. For the DBS News World, I am Zane Romulus.
St. Kitts and Nevis's budget is about future resiliency, according to the Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. Glenn Bart of SKN Newsline reports.
The 2023 fiscal year budget is all about building a resilient state, said Dr. Terence Drew, Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. Wrapping up the debate on the 2023 estimates of the SKN LP-led government, Prime Minister Drew said the budget showed multiple levels of innovation and consistency in the goal towards a sustainable island state. He said while there has been talk about a global recession coming soon, he indicated that projections for the Federation are for positive growth.
We can expect some growth, actually. That is what it is showing at this point in time. And so based on what we have now, that is what we are building out on. You cannot come and present a budget of gloom and doom when actually you have the opportunities to transform your economy and be resilient. That is why we said we have to build towards a sustainable small island state that is going to be a resilient small island state. That is the innovation we need. Because once we want to solve our energy problem, we'll have a lot of savings. And that would give us the opportunity then to make sure that we can transform our economy as well. And so I want the people out there to know that this has been innovative and this has been well thought out. And even though we had a shortened period of time, we have delivered for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis.
The Appropriation 2023 Bill 2022 reflects EC $1.02 billion for recurrent expenditure, capital expenditure, and net lending, successfully passed in the National Assembly on Monday, 19 December 2022. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
United States officials have commended the Bahamas on its handling of Sam Bankman-Fried and commitment to the rule of law.
Its logistical assistance in addressing a sensitive situation, the embassy referring to FTX's collapse and the subsequent arraignment and extradition of its fallen founder, Sam Bankman-Fried, a critical player in recent successes. The Attorney General's office, in fact, the embassy expressed appreciation to the Bahamian judicial system for ensuring its citizens enjoy the benefits of due process. The extradition treaty between the U.S. and the Bahamas has been in force since 1994.
Delays in payment of some public sector salaries for December in Jamaica was a little troubling for some. Andrea Chisholm of TVJ News provides details.
Payday comes earlier than usual in December, but efforts to implement the new system and pay back monies to public sector workers have contributed to the delay.
There's no issue at all with what the new pay is. It's very straightforward to go from where you are in the old system to where you are in the new system. Where we have had challenges and where the training has really been required is in how you calculate the arrears.
To calculate the arrears, there's a lot of back and forth. Payroll departments of each government entity have to follow the instructions of the Finance Ministry to tally the amount due to each worker from April 1 to November. That information is then sent back to the Finance Ministry for verification, and if they're satisfied,
then the file is passed over to the Accountant General, and the Accountant General pays the funds over to the respective financial institutions.
The financial institutions then put the money in the accounts of workers. At about midday on Wednesday, 5 of the 52 government entities were yet to be cleared by the Accountant General. But by late afternoon, Dr. Nigel Clark told our news center that only the Southeast Regional Health Authority was left to be cleared.
There is some information that remains outstanding from Southeast Regional Health Authority, and it has to do with the conversion table that has information as to where each employee in the Southeast Regional Health Authority, where they are in the old system and where they will be in the new system.
Approval will be granted when the Finance Ministry gets that information. So why the rush? Why not sort out the complicated system and pay the arrears in, for example, January?
It was a request of the unions who signed that we make every effort to pay in December. It was a desire of members that we pay in December. And as faithful stewards and as public servants, that's what we are, we did our best to accommodate this desire.
And for those public sector workers who do not understand their December payslips?
So we have established a hotline at the Transformation Implementation Unit for those who have queries to transmit those queries. And we're also putting out a video that allows the employee to see what the numbers.
Going forward, he says payslips will be easier to understand.
The Food Fair Shop and Win promotion is back, better than ever. We are giving away $30,000 in prizes with the promotional activities you know and love, like find the misplaced items, spin the wheel, and other exciting in-store activities. You can win hams, turkeys, vouchers, cooking gas from Sol, and lunch packages from the Creative Chef. The promotion runs from November 16th to December 23rd, 2022. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.